Next, we'll take a turn at separating the curds and whey. But this is no fairy tale, it's a modern-day Green Acres. Don't be sheepish, say cheese, because the stories are all absolutely Alabama.
We've got stories to tell which are absolutely Alabama, so let's get started.
Come on, girls. You ready to go? Time to go eat.
If you're going to start Alabama's first sheep dairy, you've got to start with some good sheep.
These are my yearlings. So these, most of these were born last year. There's a few older ones mixed in with them. About half of them are born here on the farm, and the other half we brought in from other places. There's girls from Kentucky, there's some girls from Oklahoma, and some born right here.
So if the sheep seem right at home now, they are.
The darker colored ones are some of the ones that we bred here on site. They have, they're half East Frisian and half Gulf Coast sheep, which is a sheep that's really considered now native to the southeast. It's taken us 2 years to get to this point. So we started out with a house that needed a lot of work and an old barn that was completely eaten up by carpenter bees. We tore it down and put up a new barn, started building in it and remodeling the house, and 2 years later we're finally licensed.
So it's officially time for Greg Kelly and his girls to get on with the milking.
We've had a few setbacks, and a few things have gone better than we thought, just like you'd think, and here we are. Come on in. Come on, Rosa. Come on, Eeyore. Come on, girl. All the milkers are named.
So Rosa, Eeyore, and the rest file in, and sanitary preparations complete, the milking begins.
Sheep are not a high volume milk producing animal, but what they do produce is very, very rich. So it can be as much as twice as rich as cow's milk or 4 times as rich as goat's milk.
Which leads us to the other part of the dairy's operation, say cheese.
Everybody's heard about curds and whey from the nursery rhyme, so that kind of rings a bell for a lot of people. But basically that's the first process of making cheese. But you can see the pretty curds starting to separate here from the whey, and all this liquid right here is kind of a yellowish greenish. That is the whey. When I first started out, I was a little overwhelmed because there are some cultures that have been making cheese for thousands of years. And here I am just, my midlife trying to learn this whole craft that people devote their lives to.
And just as the curds and whey are separated, Anna believes the sheep's cheese is separate from others as well.
It is a little bit higher in fat, so it's usually makes for a very creamy, yummy cheese.
As much as the Kellys seem to know about sheep and cheese, the truth is they didn't start out to be farmers at all.
We've just always felt like God was leading us to do something. We just weren't really sure what it was, and it took us a good 11 years to figure out what He intended for us.
I guess I've kind of gone back to the roots, because there is this big movement of eating locally and knowing where your food comes from, and that was just so vacant in my childhood in the early 20s. I just assumed food just came from the person that brought it off the truck or from the grocery store. And now people really want to know exactly where their food comes from, who's grown it, who's raised it, how did those animals live when they were alive, and things like that. So I think this just kind of goes along with that. And so now I'm at the grassroots for cheese, obviously. I mean, it doesn't get much fresher than this.
We love the animals, we love the cheese, and so we started off and started looking for a farm. And we settled down here in Gallant and found this farm and started building.
And we love the taste of Anna's grilled cheese.
This is the halloumi cheese, one of our specialties. And the amazing thing about this cheese, remember, it was heat treated, like you recook it in the whey, And so it makes it able to be cooked and grilled and fried. And I can actually I just have a little bit of olive oil, some salt and pepper, you can even put herbs. I'm just gonna put it straight on the grill and it's not gonna melt, but it gets really nice, beautiful grill marks, and just makes a great addition to any time you're out barbecuing.
I guess I'm one of those folks that sometimes don't know my limits, so I'll just try and see if I can do things, and it's worked out pretty well.
We've done a number of stories on agriculture in our state because it is so important, but we've never done a sheep dairy because until now, we'd never had a sheep dairy. But as they say here at Dayspring, our sheep, our hands, our farm, and it's absolutely Alabama.